going on, guys? Dawko back again. Hope you are fantastic today, and welcome to another Secret of the Mimic theory video. Today's subject is some brand new Secret of the Mimic Steam images just dropped last week, and there was one specific one that's made everybody really excited, and it's of a hippo, an alligator, and some frogs on a stage.
Yay!
Who was that?
Huh.
Guys, of course, for this very special video, I had to ask John to come on again because, you know, it's fun. I love having John on here, and I just love having someone else just to talk and ramble about.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about it.
No problem. Yeah, I'm excited too about this one because I remember originally when we went to PAX and we played the demo of Secret of the Mimic, we both mentioned seeing the poster of literally this one. It was Mr. Hippo with the frogs.
Yes,
right? That's a poster.
The alligator wasn't there on the poster.
Yeah, the alligator wasn't
there. Yeah, it was
there.
literally just the frogs and the hippo.
And there was also a blueprint in the game of Mr. Hippo, Mr. Hippo's cutout or something like that. I remember.
It was literally that hippo. It was like it was a blueprint for the cardboard cutout of that hippo.
I want to mention that as well later on because, you know, blueprints scattered around the location and Fazbear Entertainment talking about find anything you can, like take everything you can, as well as the Mimic. You know, and then we go on to the Mediocre Melodies that we see in FNAF 6, and, you know, this hippo looking very similar to Mr. Hippo, like the same colors, and especially the happy frogs, the same antenna, the yellow ball thing on top of the heads, you know, literally exactly the same as Happy Frog. And more importantly, this alligator now, and everybody's theorizing like, oh my god, this is the original Monty. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Literally, this video is just about these key characters, and are we gonna see a Ned Bear animatronic somewhere, and Pig Patch? Are we gonna see a Pig Patch? I swear there's a pig somewhere. Is it in the trailer?
It is in the trailer. It's in the part of the trailer where we're throwing that wind-up squirrel. It's on the right. And I remember, I swear there was a pig in the main screen of the demo.
There was. I remember definitely seeing a pig in the main menu of the demo.
I don't think it looked like Pig Patch.
It looked like the VIP pig. It looked like the VIP pig.
The VIP pig, if people don't know, it was in that 10th anniversary of FNAF new book that came out for free called, I think it was literally called VIP. And it's like this virtual informative pig helper that that helps you throughout the Pizzaplex, and it turned evil. People think that it's like this version of the Mimic software that turned evil. I don't know, but it looked like that pig in the trailer. Maybe we can show the pig on screen so people can know what we're talking about. That was something tied with the Pizzaplex, and there's a few things that are tied with the Pizzaplex in the trailer, like the big Music Man that looks like DJ Music Man.
Yeah.
Now we have this like Alligator Monty looking character, weirdly tied to the Pizzaplex. Everything in this place is. I just sounded like Yoda there.
Yeah, I want to talk about that as well. Like, are we going to see any other like original creations of like Sun and Moon, etc.?
Yes.
So we'll mention that later on. So all of these original animatronics and blueprints and stuff for Edwin Murray's costume manor, it all seems to tie in. Like, we see them again at the Pizzaplex, and we see them at in FNAF 6 with the Mediocre Melodies and stuff. I think it's definitely going by that Fazbear Entertainment stole a lot of Edwin Murray's original ideas, right?
For sure.
I did think as well that maybe because this is owned by Fazbear Entertainment now in the book lore, I guess, that maybe they kept some of their original stuff in there too for Fall Fest or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it could be that too. Like, maybe Fazbear Entertainment does own some of this stuff. It's not Edwin Murray's creations of all of them. But, you know, from the looks of things, for now until the game's released, it looks like Edwin Murray made a lot of these off-brand, you know, animatronics, and Fazbear Entertainment stole them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see potential because the Mediocre Melodies is a weird thing because Ned Bear is a part of it. And it's been said in like official FNAF media for a little bit now that Ned Bear is like a ripoff of Fredbear. Like it was intentionally trying to avoid copyright issues by naming it Ned Bear. And if Fazbear owns the Mediocre Melodies, that doesn't really make sense. I could see the potential of before Fazbear bought Edwin's company, Edwin made those ripoffs of Fazbear Entertainment characters. And then Fazbear bought him out. I could see that being a possibility. And that's why we see these Mediocre Melody looking characters. Like they're not 100% the same, but they look similar. So Fazbear took them and made their own thing or something.
Like what John said, like these are just like the original versions of those characters, and then in the future, Fazbear Entertainment make or somebody else makes those rip-off versions or something like that. But you never know, actually. Like they might tie it in where Edwin Murray makes these later on, because you know he is alive during FNAF 6, right? And during all
he's alive during Security Breach. Like he's literally working at the Pizzaplex.
Yeah, he's alive.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah, Edwin Murray's alive during all of the events of the FNAF games until his demise when he gets killed in a tree or whatever, you know, after Security Breach or whatever.
Right.
But
and you know what's interesting? If this is like so maybe, sorry for jumping ahead, but if this is like this alligator character is the earliest version of Monty. We also see Glamrock Mr. Hippo in one of the Security Breach endings.
Yes, I wanted to mention that too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can talk about that if you want.
We'll go on to Monty straight away because I feel like everybody wants to talk about Monty. This alligator-looking creature that's playing the banjo on the screen. I got the vibes of like Splash Mountain. I said that in my video. Like they look like those. You know, they don't look like full animatronics. They look like ride animatronics, right? Where they're just there, and then they're singing and they're playing the banjo and the violin or whatever, and they've got a little bit of movement, but they're not like full on roaming animatronics. I can't see these roaming around. Maybe they will. I don't know, but
they're super stationary. For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People think like this is the original design of Monty.
Montgomery Gator.
Thank you. So people think this is the original one. I mean, it's an alligator. I guess he's got red eyes. I can see red eyes on him.
Yeah.
We can't see his hair. If he's got a mohawk, I don't know. He's playing a banjo though. People brought up the ride during Ruin when we see Monty sat down with his hair all out. Obviously he's skinnier, but he's playing a banjo, right?
Yes, it's called like Monty's One-Man Jug Band or something like that. So yeah, this totally lines up with that. And it's funny because that newspaper in one of the Security Breach endings where it's like Monty is the star of the show now and Glamrock Mr. Hippo is also there. It's literally they're positioned the same way. Monty's on the left, Glamrock Mr. Hippo's on the right. I could totally see this because, oh god, I'm all over the place. The Steelwool tweet when they announced Secret of the Mimic, the premise of this game is in order to understand the future, you need to understand the past first. And this could be explaining some of the reasons why Monty did what he did, why he potentially destroyed Glamrock Bonnie, why he wanted to be the star of the show next to Glamrock Mr. Hippo. Well, that's because he used to be the star of the show next to Glamrock Mr. Hippo, and he wants that again. I don't know. They could be doing something like that.
Yeah, I see that too, yeah. Like with that ending that you said, it's now two of Edwin's original creations as back on stage, back as the star of the show.
As the star of the show, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in the Pizzaplex was infected with the Mimic virus. And I don't know if this is actually a Monty character that remembers this decades later and wants to be the star of the show. It might be the Mimic software wanting to recreate what it recognizes from its past.
Say that. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
You can speak on that if you want.
No, that's it. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like the Mimics took, like, you know, from Security Breach, the Mimic virus took over the location and stuff, and the animatronics. Yeah, I can see that the Mimic programming, like, still being in the past and remembering what it was like at Edwin Murray's Costume Manor, and this alligator and Mr. Hippo being, you know, Edwin's original creations. You got to think as well, like, the Mimic was made by Edwin. There's a connection between the Mimic and Edwin, and I can just imagine the Mimic's programming having that in where it remembers Monty being the star of the show and Mr. Hippo being there and not liking Freddy and Bonnie and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Mediocre Melody, I didn't mention yet, is Orville. We don't see Orville at all, like an orange-looking elephant. But people did bring up the mascot of the elephant. Now I know that he's not orange and he doesn't have a wand, but you know, he is an elephant, I guess. And maybe they took inspirations of the blueprints of the elephant mascot costume, and they were like, yep, we'll take that, and then they make Orville Elephant, I guess. That's the only connection I can think of. And you've got to remember as well, let's be real, when Scott made the Mediocre Melodies, there's no way that he thought about this 5 years on, that they were going to make Edwin Murray's Costume Manor with these. I don't believe that. So
it's interesting because there's a poster in Ultimate Custom Night in the office, and I believe it's in FNAF 6, and it's of this clown character, and there's also like a circus happening with an elephant in the poster, and that elephant looks more like the elephant we're seeing here. I know, like in your interview with Scott, he mentioned how he tells stories, and the way he tells stories is by almost laying the groundwork for something but not showing the other half of it. And I think that poster, I can send it to you if you want, so we can show it, but that poster is a good example of him always knowing that this maybe started with some sort of traveling carnival or traveling circus. We also get that hinted in the Silver Eyes trilogy, where there's a book in Henry's office literally called The History of the Traveling Carnival and of the Circus. But yeah, I think that maybe lines up better than Orville as being the potential like foreshadowing for that elephant character. I mean, they could have easily taken that elephant from Secret of the Mimic and just used it to make Orville in the future, or Orville turned into that. It could literally be anything, but yeah, interesting. It seems like Scott is tugging on that string now of this carnival circus plotline.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've seen Fall Fest being teased since Curse of Dreadbear, right?
Literally. Yep.
And heavily, way more now with Help Wanted 2 with the Fall Fest poster. Like, I really hope we get to see something of Fall Fest in this. Like I said, like, I think some of these props and stuff were used for Fall Fest. Like, and I hope we get to see more of that. And maybe there is lore behind this alligator and Mr. Hippo and with Fall Fest, and maybe you know, Henry and William got involved and they were like, you know what, I don't want this alligator, I don't want Mr. Hippo anymore. We've made a Freddy Fazbear and we've made a Bonnie, and you know, they've just been scrapped away and shoved in this storage in Edwin Murray's manor or something like that. And I don't know.
I mean, someone in my chat mentioned that in the Help Wanted 2 content update that we got in December, they put that Murray's Costume Manor logo on a button on Mystic Hippo. So maybe that was on purpose to show, hey, this Mediocre Melody actually came from Murray's Costume Manor. Maybe. Yeah, the Mystic Hippo machine. Yeah, Edwin Murray made that. Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah. I mean, I guess like there must have been a Mystic Hippo and a Mr. Hippo. So I guess my question for you is, do you think this is the Fall Fest game? Or do you think the next game after this is going to be the Fall Fest game? Because you said you want to see some of the Fall Fest and stuff.
Yeah, I do want to see Fall Fest.
This feels like the place where they're holding the stuff that was at the Fall Fest.
Yeah.
So do you think the next game is Fall Fest?
Well, I've been saying the next game should be Security Breach 2 of, you know, killing the Mimic and stuff. But they could do a Fall Fest, I guess. They could do this and then Fall Fest and then Security Breach 2. But yeah, I definitely think a bunch of Fall Fest stuff is in this factory, right? When you remember PAX, we saw the camera monitors and we saw the carousel in the storage, and it had like a tarp on it or something, like it's been stored there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely I do think a lot of the Fall Fest stuff is been stored in here, and I really hope we get to see some lore with that, because we know, like, you know, Fall Fest has been going on for years. We saw in Curse of Dreadbear, we saw the date on that, and then we saw the poster with a different date. I forgot what the date was on the poster.
1970.
Yeah, bro. Fall Fest has been going on for years and years, and we know nothing about it yet. We don't know anything.
Yeah,
So
this is probably the Fall Fest game. I don't know if we'll ever see the Fall Fest fully functioning.
I hope we do.
Maybe they'll do a big game where it's like this big outdoor amusement park Fall Fest thing. But yeah, I would love the next game to be Security Breach 2 as well. Oh God, actually this doesn't make much sense, but I think there's so much potential for them to do a Security Breach 2, but actually make it a prequel to Security Breach. Because we learned in the books, the Tales books, that there's the Pizzaplex grew over time. Like, it started off not as big, and then it grew and grew and grew into what we see in Security Breach. So there's potential to make a Security Breach 2 and have it be in the smaller Pizzaplex. So A, it's easier to program and make into a game and won't be as big. And B, we might get to see some of the backstory of what happens in Security Breach. But we do need to see what happens with the Mimic and Cassie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So that doesn't really make much sense.
No, I mean, they could do something like that. If they wanted to keep making games, they could do a prequel of Security Breach and then do the finale. Because the thing is, when Cassie, if Cassie and Gregory and Vanessa kill the Mimic, that's it, right? That's like the end of FNAF. Like, I can't really see. I mean, they probably could, you know what Scott can do, but like, that is a big possibility. That is the end of the timeline. That's it. So, you know, that if they want to keep that as the final game and the finale, if they want to, they could do a prequel to Security Breach. They could make a Fall Fest game and then do the finale.
Right.
But they could easily make a Fall Fest game, bro, like so easily, because like I said, Fall Fest has been going on for years and years. They could do a Fall Fest game that's set in one of the years. Let's say, for example, 1977, right? And an incident happens there.
Fire that they hinted at in Help Wanted 2, right? With the Fall Fest?
Yeah, like
everything
a fire
caught fire
happens there, or like, let's say it happens in 1981, and the Mimic's there. For somehow the Mimic is in Fall Fest. I don't know. Maybe in this game he escapes somewhere and we don't actually catch him and we don't get him. They could do that, and then in 1981 there's a game at Fall Fest and then we catch him. I don't know. But like an incident that happens at a Fall Fest, they could easily make a game about that.
I mean, I feel like we're just now being properly introduced to Edwin. Yeah. I just don't see them doing this game, then the next game, then just being done. Wrapping it up.
No, I don't think so.
No, I really feels like we're at the beginning of something, for sure. So yeah, I think there's potential for all of those games. I hope. It is weird how many FNAF 6 things are showing up. Edwin Murray was also the inventor of Hug, the vacuum cleaner, so he could be the inventor of Mr. Hugs from FNAF 6. Just another FNAF 6 connection.
I hope it's explained, and I mean, the easiest thing to say is what we've just been saying all this time, that Fazbear Entertainment just took all the ideas. You know, Edwin went missing, he's gone, and they've just got all of these brand new ideas that they can just use in the future, and I think that's what happens. You know, they could easily say the reason why we don't see Monty until Security Breach, the reason why we don't see a DJ Music Man and a Sun and Moon is because, yes, Fazbear Entertainment stole these ideas, but they just put them away in a cabinet or something, or in storage, and they forgot about it, and there wasn't a purpose to use them, because they've got, you know, they're making a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and you know what happened there, and they didn't really do anything with those ideas. And then in the future, years and years later, someone at Fazbear Entertainment or Edwin or whatever, you know, oh, look at all these new animatronics, you know, we do need a rebrand. I mean, look what happened back in the day when William Afton killed a bunch of kids. Let's do a Sun and Moon, and let's do these daycare attendants and a DJ Music Man for our brand new Pizzaplex. I can see that happening, and the reason why we don't see them in FNAF 1, 2, and 3 is because, you know, Henry and William didn't really need to use them in those locations, right? I guess.
Right. I mean, I could definitely see there being some tragic event that happens at Fall Fest, like the fire that they've been hinting at or something. And the reason they stole those characters, but they don't use them is because there's this bad taste in the mouth with the public about those characters.
Yeah.
Like they remember what happened. And it's not until decades later that they feel like they can pull those out of retirement and use them. Because something bad happens at Fall Fest with those characters, and then something bad happens at Freddy's with the Freddy's characters, so now they're going back to the Fall Fest characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
So that's what I'm asking, John. Like, now looking back at these, like, who do you think made the Mediocre Melodies for FNAF 6?
For FNAF 6, the actual Mediocre Melodies. I think
the
Edwin...
actual animatronics.
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Because you could say, like, oh, Henry made them, I guess, because he wanted to make rip-off ones for this FNAF 6 location. Or do you think he found them in the back alley? Or Edwin originally made them, and then Fazbear Entertainment found them? Maybe?
I could see Henry making them, like, for the FNAF 6 pizzeria. I could also see it just being another company trying to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's characters. Like, because the way these characters are built are unlike anything we've seen before. They have, like, batteries on stage with them. Like, they seem very low effort. I don't know, cheap and quick and unsafe.
And mediocre.
And mediocre. So I could just see it being another company trying to rip off the characters and trying to rip off these characters that we're seeing in this image. That's kind of what I think, because if Henry built them, he's already with Fazbear, so why would he want to rip off the company he's with?
So many ideas. We could say anything. Like, we could say that Henry found them. Like, he found some of old Edwin's creations and he took them for this location, or like you said, another company made them. Maybe a rip-off company found the original blueprints of Mr. Hippo and stuff and was like, oh yeah, let's make these and make them super cheap.
Totally.
Maybe they've changed the law a little bit on that, like they were knockoffs, but like now they're not. I don't know.
I mean, the conclusion that I'm coming to is I hope we learn the answer in Secret of the Mimic, because we don't have enough information to come to a solid conclusion. It's almost like just fan fiction, like making up an answer.
Yeah, guys, we're literally just making up theories now on what we think these are. Like, so I really hope Steel will do something in Secret of the Mimic. Like, why is Mr. Hippo here? And why are the Happy Frogs here? And why is this alligator here? Like, are they just doing it for the fans? Like, hey guys, look, it's this hippo animatronic that looks like Mr. Hippo. Or are they gonna show lore about it? Are they gonna show, wait, you know, this isn't just for the fans that we've done this. There's actually a reason why this hippo animatronic is here. It's because Edwin originally made it or whatever. And I hope there's reasons behind this. And, you know, I think the biggest theory right now is literally because Fazbear Entertainment stole the ideas. And I think that's valid. I think that's a valid reason. Still are going to show lore about these. How do you think they're going to portray that? Are they going to do like notes or tapes or more blue? I think we're going to see more blueprints of like the animatronic of the hippo and the animatronic blueprints of the alligator, and not just the cutouts. Forgot to mention as well Sun and Moon. Do you think we're going to see original prototypes of Sun and Moon? Because people have been mentioning the stained glass window, right, with the Sun and Moon on it.
Yep. And Matt Pat came out with a theory a couple years ago where he said the teeth on Eclipse are the same teeth on the Mimic, and the design of the character is exactly the same. I totally think we'll see the earliest version of the daycare attendant, and the same thing, the window. It has the Sun and Moon on it. It has a blue Bonnie and a golden Freddy on it as well, which makes no sense. But
yeah, I don't get that either. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that because I don't get it.
I think we definitely will. And as far as like how we'll figure out the lore, I definitely think it's blueprints. It seems like through the trailer they're doing the present thing again for the collectibles, like in Security Breach, because there was one on the desk.
Yeah.
I know in the books they're one of the teams that goes into Edwin's warehouse finds audio logs from previous teams. I think we'll find audio logs detailing stuff. We could find newspapers. We could find advertisements for another company that's opening a new pizzeria with an Orville elephant and a Ned bear.
We are talking about like a side plot here, guys, about the Mediocre Melodies and these. We've got to remember the main story is about the mimic and David, Edwin's son, that gets killed by a car, and that's why the mimic's evil, because Edwin destroys the mimic and he turns aggressive on him. Like, Steel will have got to portray that somehow. They can't just make this game and not show why the mimic is like this, right? So, like John said, audio tapes would easily show that. They could show tapes of like Edwin doing a tape, and he's like, oh, day 23, I'm currently making this animatronic. I'm going to name it the Mimic. And you hear in the background David say something like, hey, Dad, like, where's my ice cream or whatever? And he's like,
you could be dead on.
Like, not now, David. Not now, David. I've almost finished this for you. I've got a surprise for you or whatever. And we get all that. And then it's like, oh, day 30, my son died. Obviously not that, I'm just trying to do an example. My son died. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm so lost. And then we get an audio tape of him like destroying the mimic, and we hear him like beating him up, and then stuff like that. Audio tapes would be so good to portray that story. Steelwall, you've got to do it. You can't do this game and not show that. I'm sorry. Like, people are just going to be so confused, I think, if you don't show the book lore of what happened with why the mimic's so aggressive and the origins of Edwin. I think they will. I hope they do, because I feel like people are going to be really confused with the lore who haven't read the books. You can't rely on people reading the books. You can't make a game and be like, you guys should know this lore because you should have read the books.
Yeah.
I don't think you should. That's unfair. I don't think you should do that. They need to show what happened.
I also think it's easy for them to fall into a trap of making this Tales from the Pizzaplex the game, or like catching up people who haven't read the books on the books the game. And for us who already know everything, I hope there's new things about the Mimic that we've never heard before that aren't in the books that we learn, instead of just rehashing the story in the books so people can get caught up. And I think they're kind of playing with fire and putting a game in 1979, because there's a lot of history here, and I think the Mediocre Melodies are a great thing, like a side thing for us to learn on top of the main story. And I hope we'll see Fredbear and Spring Bonnie mascot costumes as well. There's so much potential to see other things other than the Mimic story. But yeah, you're right. They definitely need to explain the story of the Mimic in there for sure. And the audio logs, I think you're dead on. That could literally be an audio log that you explained just then. That was really cool. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I hope we get audio logs and not just like diary logs of Edwin saying like, I mean, it helps, but like, I feel like it would be so much better if we heard Edwin's voice and heard David in the background and Edwin's research, and he's like, oh, I'm currently working on the Bonnie suit, the Bonnie endoskeleton or whatever and he mentions Henry and William. How cool would that be? Like, awesome. Today Henry's gave me a task. He's told me that I need to fix this Foxy endoskeleton. Something's wrong with its wrist or whatever. I don't know. And stuff like that would be so cool. It'd be really cool even if we just got like diary notes on that, but then it'd be a really big missed opportunity if they don't do like audio tapes and stuff. That would be really good storytelling, and I feel like you get a better connection with Edwin and the origins of the Mimic if you like, if you're not just reading like a note on
hopefully it's not like Poppy Chapter 4 where it's like reading a book every 5 seconds,
Yeah, but with
and also
the same.
And I also don't hope it's not like that game where it's constantly tapes, where you're constantly having to sit there and listen for a very long time. I don't know. I hope they find a balance.
Yeah, I think it would be better, like you said, with the gift boxes. I think we go around with the gift boxes, and you collect the gift boxes, and there's a type in there. There's a blueprint of Mr. Hippo. There's a blueprint of Fredbear or whatever. And you press the pause menu, and you go to the inventory, and you play those tapes yourself, because then it doesn't stop you from playing the game. Like, with Poppy Playtime, where you're listening to a tape for 4 minutes. It's your choice to pause the game and listen to the tape. It doesn't stop any gameplay. That's it, basically. I know we rambled on a little bit there. We went from Mediocre Melodies to demanding Steel to tell us lore about Edwin.
I know.
Yeah, it was fun. But what we're saying, guys, is that we think that, the Mediocre Melodies, it might be like a cool little subplot for the game. And like John said, it would be really cool to see like a Fredbear and Spring Bonnie and lore about Henry and William on the side at this location, and Fall Fest stuff, and just some extra lore, and just expanding the FNAF universe, right? It's just expanding it more and more with the history, because this is the earliest game we've ever got. So, yes, we'd love to learn more about the history of what's going on here and how Edwin's involved and stuff like that. And, yeah, I hope they do that, and I can't wait. I'm so excited for this. Like, these new Steam images have just made me more excited.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I can't wait. But that is it, guys, for another video. I'm sure we'll get John on again. Probably... if they release more Steam images, or they release maybe another trailer before release, we'll have to wait and see. But thank you, John, for joining me again. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always super fun just to have you on and just talk.
Yeah.
I just like talking about stuff.
Me too.
It's more of like a podcast, to be honest, rather than...
It is. When's our podcast starting? The FNAF podcast.
Oh my God, we could do that, and we could just talk about anything. We could have guests on.
Yep.
Well, guys, if you want to see that, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. Obviously, check out John. Link in the description. He just recently posted a theory video.
Thank you. Go check out Dawko. Watch all of his videos. Subscribe. And go check out Hex. Hex.store.
Oh, yeah. Guys, I'm going to do it.
Yes. Show Jackie. Can you show her? What? Oh, no!
Oh, no! What the heck? Get off! Jackie, this is the first prototype, guys. There's so much things we're changing.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah. Boing, boing, boing. There you go, guys. Closer look. The back. I didn't show the back on the picture. Yeah.
It looks
there you
great.
go. All right.
Just a prototype. Guys. Be nice.
Yes, just a prototype, guys. We're already working on the second one.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.